Welcome! Today we're going to demystify insulin dosing. I know it can seem super complicated, but we're going to break it down into something that's actually clear and totally manageable. So, let's kick things off with a really helpful way to think about this. How is an insulin dose like a personal recipe? Well, it's not just some static, one-size-fits-all number. Nope. It's more like a formula that's completely unique to you. And the cool part is, with your doctor's help, you get to learn how to tweak the ingredients to get it, well, just right. So, to help you get this recipe down, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the two main types of insulin. Figure out your starting dose, then talk about adjusting both your background and your pre-meal insulin. And finally, we'll cover how to make those little on-the-spot corrections. All right, first things first, let's get into the two main types of insulin. You can think of these as the absolute building blocks for your whole strategy. Okay, so first up, we have what's called basal insulin. Now, if we're sticking with our recipe analogy, this is like the salt. It's always there, working in the background. It's a long-acting insulin that gives you this constant, low level of activity all day and all night, just to keep your blood sugar steady between meals. And then you've got your pre-meal insulin. Some people call it Prandial insulin. So if basal is the salt, this is like the specific spice you add for a certain dish. It's a fast-acting, quick burst that you take right before you eat to handle all the carbs from your meal. So when you look at them side by side, you can really see how different their jobs are, right? Basal is all about that long, steady background control. Pre-meal is for that fast, short-acting punch right at mealtime. Totally different tools for totally different jobs. Okay, so we've got our two main ingredients. But how do doctors figure out where to even start? You might be wondering, is it just a guess? Absolutely not. There's actually a pretty straightforward, evidence-based formula they use to figure out a safe and effective starting recipe for you.
For a lot of folks with type 1 diabetes, it usually boils down to this simple three-step process. First, they calculate your total daily dose, or TDD, and that's based on your weight. Then, they just split that number right down the middle. 50% goes to your basal insulin, that's your background stuff, and the other 50%, that gets split up between your meals.
Let's put some real numbers to this to make it super clear. Imagine someone who weighs 80 kilograms. That's about 176 pounds. You just multiply their weight by 0.5 units, and boom, their starting total daily dose is 40 units. And check this out. Here's how that 40-unit total gets broken down. Half of it, so 20 units, that's for the long-acting basal. The other 20 units get divided up for your meals. So it might be something like 7 units for breakfast, another 7 for lunch, and then maybe 6 for dinner. And that is your starting recipe. But a starting dose is just that. It's a starting point. It's not the final answer. From here on out, it's all about refinement. And the very first thing to fine-tune is that basal insulin, that background flavor, to get your morning blood sugar right in that sweet spot. So why do we focus on basal first? Well, its whole job is to manage your blood sugar when you're not eating, like when you first wake up. The big goal here is to get that fasting number, that morning number, consistently into the target range, which for a lot of people is somewhere between 80 and 99. And a really common, super effective way to do this is called the 3-day method. See, you don't want to overreact to just one weird reading. That could be a total fluke. Instead, you check your fasting blood sugar for 3 days straight, and then you calculate the average. This gives you a way more reliable picture of what's actually going on. And then, based on that average, you make your adjustment. It's pretty systematic. For instance, this table shows that if your 3-day average is, say, between 140 and 159, you'd add about 4 units to your basal dose. But if you're right in that target zone of 80 to 99, you don't change a thing. See? It really helps take the guesswork out of the whole process. Okay, so once we've got that background basal dose dialed in, it's time to move on to the pre-meal insulin. This is where we get really specific, seasoning each meal correctly by matching the insulin to the exact food you're about to eat. Now, one of the best ways to do this is with something called carb counting. It's all based on what's known as an insulin-to-carb ratio. And a really typical starting point is 1 unit of insulin for every 10 grams of carbs you eat. Pretty straightforward, right? But just like everything else, this ratio has to be personalized. The whole idea is to get your blood sugar back in a good range before you eat your next meal. So let's say you keep checking before lunch and your number is always high. Well, that's a clue that your breakfast ratio isn't quite strong enough. So you'd adjust it, maybe from 1 to 10 down to 1 to 7. That means you get a little more insulin for the same amount of carbs to cover that meal better. All right, so we've got our background dose and our mealtime dose covered. But what happens if your blood sugar is already high before you even take a bite of food? That's where this final little touch-up comes in, and it's called a correction factor.
A correction factor is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a little bit of extra supplemental insulin that you add on top of your normal meal dose. Its only job is to get that high reading back down into your target range. And there's a really easy way to figure this out called the flat method. Let's walk through it. Say your blood sugar is at 200 and your target is 120. Okay, the difference there is 80. You just divide that difference, 80, by 25. That gives you about 3. So you'd add 3 extra units to your pre-meal dose to correct for that high starting number.
So when you pull it all together, what's the big takeaway here? It's that insulin dosing is not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's a living, breathing process. You start with that base recipe, you measure what happens, and then you make these small, smart adjustments along the way. And of course, you're always doing this as a team with your healthcare provider.
Look, knowing all of this really empowers you to be an active partner in your own health. It's a game changer. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you understand the pieces of your personal recipe, what's one specific question you're going to ask your doctor at your next appointment to help fine-tune it even more?